When I started school, I had read that my grandfathers were enemies of the regime. From then on, and throughout my school life, the teacher would point to me and tell the pupils that I was their enemy.
I have been very alarmed about what's going on in our school. You are now training our children to be social justice warriors and to loathe our country and our history. Growing up in Mao's China, all this seemed very familiar. The communist regime used the same critical theory to divide people. The only difference is they use class instead of race. During the Cultural Revolution, I witnessed students and teachers turn against each other. We changed school names to be politically correct. We were taught to denounce our heritage. The Red Guards destroy anything that is not communist, old statues, books, and anything else. We are also encouraged to report on each other, just like the Student Equity Ambassador Program and the bias reporting system. This is indeed the American version of the Chinese Cultural Revolution. The critical race theory has its roots in cultural Marxism. It should have no place in our schools.
To be honest, after enduring a year of the people in charge telling me that I'm a racist and I'm privileged and pointing out our irreversible differences, I've never noticed race more. And in our principal's attempt to unify us, he instead created unwarranted boundaries and barriers between his students, pitting us against each other based on characteristics that we can't control.
The communist regime used the same critical theory to divide people. The only difference is they use class instead of race.
This is correct. In the 20th century, Marxist regimes used the same critical theory to divide people. The only difference is that they use class instead of race. Today, the American Marxist uses what is called the progressive stack. The progressive stack is a hierarchy of identities used to determine which people are more oppressed than others based on immutable characteristics. These usually include things like race, gender, sex, ability, and of course class. You can't be a Marxist if you leave out class. And also religion. Now, if you're an oppressor, the goal is to dehumanize you, to silence you. It's the same playbook used by every genocidal tyranny in history. All of this is done in the name of equity. If you are one of the oppressed, it gives you carte blanche to dress up your bigotry and racism as compassion and justice. This is simply a twist on an ideology that killed 100 million people in the 20th century. Again, all in the name of equity. Equity is communism. Equity is Marxism. Equity is the equality of outcome. The equality of outcome is death.